Hey guys, it's me. I'm back with another exciting, fun-filled video. So for those of you who don't know, I have a new book coming out October 1st. I'm very excited. I'm sharing spoilers and all sorts of things on my Instagram and all my other social medias like my TikTok. And part of getting you guys excited for the new book, I decided to ask you guys to ask me questions about it on Instagram. You guys were amazing. I got so many questions back. I answered so many questions, but some of the questions were a little too long-winded for me to answer on Instagram. So I decided I'd hop on YouTube, and answer them here. So without any further ado, let's get into some of the more longer, complicated answers, and let's just dive right in. So the first question is, what did you do differently this time around? So I did a lot differently this time around. This book consists of 10 short stories, or they're not actually short stories, they're a little bit longer. Some of them are actually novella length. And yeah, so they're 10, and they're all connected this time. So in Ephemera, the stories weren't really connected, they were just a collection of short stories. In this new book, all the stories are going to be interconnected with one another. So they're still going to be like written in the same kind of genre, ooky, kooky, spooky. But that is one of the main things that I did differently this time around. The stories are much longer than the stories in Ephemera, and the stories are all connected. They have reoccurring characters, reoccurring themes, and yeah, that's one of the main things that I did differently this time around for this new book. The second question was, how do you, me, come up with these unique stories? Is it purely imagination? So this is a question I get asked a lot as a writer, and I think a lot of writers get asked this question, and there is no like one simple answer. For me, it's not just purely imagination. These stories come from life experience, from other media that I consume, from people that I meet, from conversations that I overhear, because I am an eavesdropper extraordinaire. And I did actually share a video on my TikTok. Like, if you guys want to head over there, there's a link in the description, not too long ago, where I said that if you have a writer in your life, you should not misbehave in front of them, because one way or another, you're going to end up in a story, in a book, with your shenanigans and your bullshit. So that's where it comes from. It comes from a combination of being exposed to different media, exposed to different things, different people, different experiences, and that is where these stories come from. All the stories are told through the lens of like horror or paranormal, as a theme, like paranormal, or the paranormal, rather, for lack of a better word. But yeah, that's where they come from. They come from different experiences that I draw from, different media I've been exposed to, and things that I'm passionate about. So it's not just imagination. It is a great deal of imagination, but it is also a combination of imagination and experience and exposure to different kinds of media. That's film, books, poetry, whatever the case is, and people acting fucked up in front of me, or I hear about people acting fucked up, and then I'm like, this is too good to not go into a story, and then I put it in the story. So you know, I have a disclaimer that protects me. The third question was, how long did it take to write this book, and what inspired these stories? So it took me about 12 months, like 11, 12 months, to get all the stories together, to like get them to a place where like where I was happy with them. And then obviously I do my edits and stuff, but writing about 11, 12 months roughly. And then as far as what inspires these stories goes, when you guys do have a look at the book, when I go into more detail, you will see that a lot of the stories are like monster related. But like whenever you tell stories about monsters, I always feel like the monster's not the important part. These stories are inspired by people and their behavior, and you know, their strengths and their weaknesses, and like the choices that they make. And there's a lot of that in this book. So it is, you know, seen through the lens of horror or the paranormal. But at the end of the day, at their core, these stories are about people and the choices that they make and where those choices lead them. And that, for me, will always be the most interesting thing to write about, and that's what really inspires me. Because if you know, sometimes you like hear about people, you meet people, whatever the case is, and you're like, how did you get even yourself? Like, you ask yourself that question often, or I do anyway. Where you're like, how did I get here? Like, am I here as a result of like my circumstances, my character flaws, choices? And that's what these stories are about. There are also some very strong themes about family, about fitting in, about not really knowing where you belong in the world and trying to figure that out. So yeah, it's a combination of different things that inspired this story, or these stories. But also like the occult. Like I love the occult. Like I go into it quite a bit in this book, and in the foreword there is a really great, well, I think a really great description of what the book at its core is actually about. And if you want to read more into it, wait for October 1st, order a copy, and you'll be able to see very clearly what inspired this book. I have been saying on social media that if you are a fan of shows like Charmed, movies like Practical Magic, Hocus Pocus, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, all that kind of good shit from like the late 2000s or late 90s, early 2000s, then you're really going to love this book, because there's a lot of that inspired this book as well. Also, like, I was a bit petty when I set out to write this book, because I watched The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I watched about 2 or 3 seasons of that, and I just couldn't anymore, because it was the most horrific thing that I'd ever watched, as far as like witchcraft or themes about like witchcraft and the occult were concerned. And I was just like, you know what, I'm going to have to do this better. And that's what I did. That's what this book is. It's actually just my massive petty reaction to really, really hating a TV show. Partly, not all of it, but partly was like that was the drive behind it. It was like, I need to do better than this awful television show that I can't stand. But if you did like Sabrina, you'll probably like this book as well. It's just better. The fourth question is, what did you learn from the first book that you brought to this process? That is a tough one to answer, because there was so much. Like, I learned so much from publishing my first book that I brought in to publishing the second one. Not just, from a publishing standpoint, but like making sure like everything is absolutely correct, because I really fucked my printer around like with the first book. There was a lot of back and forth, and I really didn't want to do that again. So the main thing that I brought forward from the last book into this one was like just being more organized, being far more meticulous, and doing things right the first time around, if that makes sense. From a writing standpoint, I think that these stories are stronger, and I think that the reason for that is like the longer that you do something, the better that you get at it. And this isn't just me blowing my own horn. Like, other people have read this book already. Like, I've got my brother who's the story editor, I've got my friend Catherine who is my copy editor. And, I've had really positive feedback so far from people who have read the book. So I think experience is also something that I've brought forward from the last book. And hopefully it shows and you guys enjoy it. The fifth question is, which one of the books did you enjoy writing more? Or is it like choosing a favorite child? As much as these books do feel like my children, I can't say that I enjoyed writing Ephemera more than I enjoyed writing this new one. But what I can say is like I was way more excited for Ephemera because it was my first book. But for this book, the new one, I feel more proud, if that makes sense. Like, I was more excited for Ephemera, and I am excited for this book, but I am a lot more proud of this book, and for me that's the difference. But as far as the writing process was concerned, I thoroughly enjoyed writing both books. It's so much fun for me. It's my passion in life. It's what I love doing. So both books were just like a ton of fun to write. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't still be doing it. If I didn't enjoy writing the first one, I wouldn't have written the second one. So I hope that answers your question. So question number 6 is actually a two-parter, because I was actually asked this question more than once, and I found it quite interesting. So I thought that like I'd just answer them like sort of together. So the questions were, what other genres would you like to write in, if any? And the other question is, will you be branching out into other genres for future books? Of course, like I don't like to be boxed in by genre. What I do, I think is pretty unique as far as genre is concerned. Yes, it's like horror and it's paranormal and they're witches and they're ghosts and all this other stuff. But I think the way that I personally go about it as a writer is a unique take. It is fresh. But that said, I would love to branch out into other genres. Something that I've been playing with recently is like a mixture of things. Like you can... I'm thinking about like combining, sort of like sci-fi with like romance. I know that sounds like a far stretch for me. There is some sci-fi in Ephemera, but like those are the two sort of other genres that really interest me, are sci-fi and romance. And I know that sounds corny, but when I read Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, it like absolutely changed my life, and it changed my view on romance, and it made me want to write something romantic, if that makes sense. But good. No, we're not talking like bodice rippers here. Like, I'm just talking like a really good love story where you're like, holy shit, you're like reaching, like Nicholas Sparks, for example. But again, it comes back to what inspires you is what you're exposed to, and that for me, you know, a sci-fi and romance, those two genres are, you know, I'm feeling them at the moment. So I might branch out at a stage. Who knows? I don't like being boxed in, and I don't really like doing the same thing over and over again, so keep your eye on me. Who knows what I'll do next? Another reoccurring question that I tend to get asked every time I release a book, or when I released my last book and now when I've released the second one, will this one be a movie or a series? I hope so. I hope so. In all likelihood, probably not, but if anybody from like Netflix or Showmax or HBO is out there listening and has found this video and has found my work, I'd be happy to turn it into a series. I actually think it would make a pretty good series, in my opinion. You know, that's the dream. But right now we're focusing on the books. But like I said, if anybody's out there, like, just contact me. It's cool. Like, I'm happy to do adaptations. I'd love it. I'd love it. I'd love it to be a movie or a series. But as far as the filming of this video goes, I've had no offers for a movie or a series adaptation. But if you're out there, I'm willing. So guys, that is it for the questions section, or the questions segment. Those are all the questions that I had to answer in this video. Please feel free to ask me more. Leave some comments in the comment box below. And yeah, ask me. I love interacting with you guys. So like, whether you follow me on Instagram or TikTok or wherever, YouTube, ask me questions, leave comments. I love it. So like I said earlier, the book is going to be available October 1st, 2021. But I have some big reveals coming up in September, so hold tight. And yeah, we'll do some awesome reveals, and you guys will see all the goodies that are going to come with this book, because it's not just the book this time around. We've been working very, very hard on like some bookish goodies for the South African readers. So hold on to your excitement, hold on to your hats, and we're going to be doing some massive reveals in September. So yeah, we'll see you around for that. Hold tight. So the cover reveal for the book is actually up. It's over here, boop, on my Instagram. Please go give it a like. Please go engage with it. The link's in the description below. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, what you think of the cover, if you're excited for the book. Please, please, please. The Acrimonious. It comes out October 1st, 2021. You guys can also please follow me on social media for more updates about the book. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the good things. There's actually the unboxing video that's coming up soon. You can take a look on my YouTube. It's around here somewhere on my channel. And you can set a reminder for the premiere of the unboxing of the Acrimonious. So please, come on this journey with me. You're welcome. It's a safe space. Let's talk. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. Hang in there. It's almost October. We've got some ookie cookie spooky goodies coming with this book and the book itself. I'm so excited, and I hope you are too. And yeah, we'll be in touch soon. Well, I'll be back soon to talk about the Acrimonious. I don't know how to end this video. So thank you and bye.